What is the state of South Australia's fishing stocks? Well, the best way to describe it is to draw on that famous Dr Seuss book, The Lorax. In the story, the properties of the truffler tree were discovered and exploited until there were none left. Sound familiar? Way back in time, a little boy discovered a fish washed ashore. He took it home, scaled it and tossed it on the fire. He was looking at it and decided to take a bite. And lo and behold, it tasted good, real good. So he spent some time devising a way on how to get more of them. He furnished a long pole with string and a bent piece of tin to form a hook. He spent days and weeks honing his skills and his equipment until he could catch a fish whenever he so desired. He started to catch a lot of fish, not only to feed his large family, but gave some to his neighbours. He had a moment in the sun when it hit him. Instead of giving the fish away, he would barter with it for other food within the community. This thriving trade kept his family well fed, and they had enough resources to move out of town to a nearby hill, overlooking the ocean, where they built a new home. Not to leave things as they were, he kept inventing new ways to catch more and more fish. His great achievement was to fashion the first net ever made out of string. He would wade out into the shallows and set his net, and lo and behold, the huge number of fish he caught astounded him. So he had his family start to make nets to sell to the local townsfolk, whilst he kept fishing. Before too long he realised that he couldn't sell his catch to the local townsfolk because they had their own supply of fish. Now, as a true professional, he decided to go to the next town, just over the hill, and they greeted him enthusiastically because he had fresh fish. He became so big there needed to be an external body to manage the fish stocks, so he created Pirsa. Over the years, the momentum grew. He had branched out into net making and fish supply to numerous towns within the region. He had by this time even built himself a wooden platform from which to fish, which he called a boat. This got him out further than all the others with the nets, and he found that he could catch much bigger fish and more of them. He now employed people to travel the realm across borders into far-off lands to sell his catch of fish. The town had prospered so much over the years that they had built great houses they called mansions, and all had big boats to go fishing. The nets were cast far and wide. It was the dream come true, such a plentiful bounty. It was endless, so he thought. But he noticed he and the rest of the town's fishermen had to go further out to sea, sometimes staying out for days on end just to fill their boats. The fish weren't so plentiful now. Sometimes they would return after a week at sea with nothing in the holds. Many in the town abandoned their mansions and went further afield in search of a better life, because in their opinion, their town was doomed, because there were no more fish left in the waters. But the man persisted. He believed he could catch the last remaining fish in the ocean. He was a real professional. It was only his stubbornness that kept him there, and the fact he did not want to let go of the empire he had created, or his position as chairman of his organisation, Pirsa. He became a hermit in his now dilapidated mansion, as the town around him decayed. The only glimmer in his eyes was when he dreamt of all the garfish, snapper, King George whiting, and all the other fish, including big tunas, that once swam in the oceans. Sound familiar? That could be this state's future if things don't radically change.